This is a short tutorial on the new FY20 Volunteer Services Recruitment Activity Tracker. To locate the tracker, log into Volunteer Connection, scroll to My Groups, and select the Volunteer Services Recruitment option. If you don't have this option, you will need a position added to your profile with specific service details affiliated with volunteer services and either the Volunteer Recruitment Specialist or the Volunteer Recruitment Lead. Once you're on the group share, scroll over to the last tab called Pages and select Recruitment Partner Activity Tracker Form. Then select the new Recruitment Activity Tracker form for FY20. Notice at the top of the form there are a couple of hyperlinks that will send you to helpful resources. The first is the Business Guidance. This is a job tool that will provide important information about the usage of the tracker tool, including standard business rules, information about the fields and descriptions, and information on how to select the appropriate activity type. You can also directly link to different reports from this page. So we're going to go ahead and fill out an example. I do want to call your attention to the mandatory fields and the optional fields. So if you see an asterisk, it means this field is required. Also, you will see an I next to some of the fields, and this will have a bubble that pops up to give you more information about this particular field. So we're going to go ahead and fill this out. Recruiter name is whoever performed this particular activity. Supervisor name is only required if you are a volunteer, and you would put either the RVSO or the volunteer specialist. Next required field is the date of the activity. If this activity was performed in a specific geographic location, such as a chapter, a county, or a state, you can fill these in. The next required field is the type of activity. So for today's demo, we are going to select a physical posting. The number of people reached in this activity, in some cases you know exactly how many people have been contacted, but in certain cases, such as postings or TV or radio interviews, you are unsure. In this case, we're going to put 1. The type of activity is an external because we are attempting to reach people that are not affiliated with the American Red Cross, so we'll select external. The position in this case we are highlighting is the biomed services. Notice you also have an option for multiple or general or other if you don't see your particular line of business. Position targeted. For this particular case, we're going to select blood donor ambassador. But once again, you have the option for multiple, not targeted, or other. This field is whether or not you use the National Friends and Family Program. In this case, we did not. This section is after the event. You can use these fields to help evaluate the effectiveness of this particular activity and whether or not you would do it again. So for example, we're going to put in our estimated return. Since I don't really know in this particular case, I'm going to select that I would love to have 20. And the estimated time is, again, part of that evaluation. In this particular case, between making the flyer and delivering it, it took about 2 hours. And for now, it met my expectation, but you can always come back. And this area is just free form for any comments that you want to put to help you remember the outcome of this event in the future. The next section for follow-up is, again, optional. This is an area that you have the ability to remind yourself later if there's any follow-up needed for this particular activity. Let's say that the postings that I put up are time sensitive, so I do want to take them down. Remove all postings. And the date, I want to give it, since the activity that I'm encouraging them to come to happens throughout the month of July, I'm going to select the end of July. This area, if the activity was performed by with a current Red Cross partner, you can select yes, but in this case, no. Click Next will take me to the contact information. Notice the pages are all the same for all of these type of activities. So the audience is, I actually went around to stores in my given area. And the activity comments is just where you can elaborate on the specifics of this activity. So hung up posters to invite to open houses at blood center. So the point of these open houses was to encourage new volunteers to join us. So this section, if you have, you can either choose to upload a file or you can include specific information. So if I was doing a presentation, I would enter the location of the activity and the person that I coordinated with. In this particular case, since I'm posting at multiple stores, I'm going to use this option and choose a file. So I have a file already, a distribution list. That later I could come back and see which stores and the addresses that I actually hung these posters, and I click Submit. So this will bring me back to a page where I can click the next entry, and I want to show you one more example. So once again, I'm going to fill in my information. And in this case, the activity that I'm choosing is a specific individual contact. So I received the name of an individual from a current volunteer and I want to follow up with them. So in this case, I know that my reach is just one person and it is an external. And this time I'm going to choose multiple or general because they are not sure what they want to do. And position is I'm just going to talk to them about multiple positions. And yes, in fact, I did use the Friends and Family program because they were referred. Estimated return, well, I'm only talking with one person, so I'm hoping they become a volunteer. And the activity that my reaching out to them, which you'll see in just a minute, took about an hour. And so far, it met expectation. And again, I can put in an evaluation of the comments, but you don't always have to fill these out. Follow up, asked to call after, asked me to call them after the holiday. Call them. This was not with a partner. Selecting next. It alerted me that something was an issue. So here somehow, this you can use the up and down arrow. Just be careful that you don't put it in the negative. So next. And now I can enter the individual's name, their address if I want, phone number, email if I have collected it. Now this is an area where you can select the mechanism of your communication. So whether you emailed them, had a phone call, emailed them directly, you had an in-person meeting, or you reached out through social media or other. In this case, we had a meeting. I met them for coffee. Head was referred by Now I click submit and it enters. Please note that if you need to make a correction to a submitted form or you need to go back and add information, you can access this through Form Builder 2.0. This will be located under the Administrative tab, Unit Configuration, but you do have to have special permissions. So if you don't have access to that, please contact your Volunteer Services Department. And lastly, the reports that you'll have access to are here. I hope this short tutorial was helpful. Thank you very much.